Hello and welcome to India Business. I'm Parikshit Luthra. Here are the big headlines we are tracking at this hour. Sensex and Nifty end with marginal gains after a late recovery. Bank stocks decline, but mid-caps outperform. Market regulator SEBI is weighing a proposal from NSE to extend trading hours for derivatives. Not all IPOs that list at a discount have destroyed investor wealth, shows a CNBC-TV18 analysis. 8 stocks have managed to rebound and even double in value in the last 3 years. This includes Angel One, Macrotech, Craftsman Automation, Kalyan Jewellers, among others. Crisis hit Byju's to cut over 3,500 jobs as it attempts to get out of financial trouble. Sources say the cuts will impact senior and middle management. Byju's also likely to report much-awaited earnings since FY22 in October. Startup funding in July to September is at a 5-year low. Companies managed to raise $1.5 billion, which is 54% lower compared to the same period last year. Seed funding has dropped 75%. TRAI Chairman PD Vaghela is worried about the erosion in Vodafone-Idea subscriber base and its inability to roll out 5G services. Says huge investments are needed and hopes demand for digital services will attract investors. That's an exclusive. India and Canada take veiled digs at each other at the United Nations. External Affairs Minister Jaishankar says political convenience should not determine the response to terrorism. Canada's envoy raises concerns over foreign interference and says international rules cannot be bent for political expediency. U.S. Federal Trade Commission and 17 state attorney generals sue Amazon, allege that the tech giant uses anti-competitive strategies, inflated prices and overcharges sellers. Amazon says FTC has radically departed from its mission of protecting consumers. The next decade will be a decade of data, cloud and AI, says NetApp CEO George Kurian. Admits that some fears about AI are warranted, while some are exaggerated. Adds the company is looking to double its India business, saying India has the potential to become NetApp's largest market in Asia in the next 5 years. Students protest on the streets of Manipur. This after pictures showing the alleged abduction and killing of 2 students went viral on social media. Mobile internet services snapped once again. Schools remain shut this week as the state struggles to control ethnic violence which erupted 5 months ago. Indian shooter Sifth Kaur Samra smashes the world record in the 50-meter rifle 3 positions individual event. Indian shooters also win gold in the 25-meter pistol team event. With this, India has 5 gold medals so far. Markets staged a smart recovery from lows to end in the green. Nifty and Sensex ended the day 0.25% higher. Nifty Bank underperformed the blue chips, but mid-caps continued their outperformance. The mid-cap index ended close to 1% higher. Reliance was the top Nifty contributor, lifting the index by 20 points, while IT stocks also led from the front. Meanwhile, market veteran Mobius is betting big on the India story. In a conversation with CNBC-TV18, he said that it did not make any sense for them to reduce their India holding as the India picture was very positive.
We see so many opportunities in India. Now, of course, there's going to be corrections along the way. We, of course, pay attention to that and have cash on hand to take advantage of these corrections. But we'd like to see maybe a 20% correction before we dive back in. But nevertheless, we're holding on to what we have and adding on the margins because we believe that the opportunities in India are terrific. And the whole picture for India is so positive that it doesn't make sense to reduce our holdings in India.
The National Stock Exchange is considering extending of trading hours for equity and derivatives in a phased manner. It is also planning to eventually extend trading hours for the cash markets as well. Anuj Singhal joins us with the details. Anuj, what is the buzz in the market?
Well, the hot topic of discussion has been extending trading hours. Now, that's something which has divided the trader community, the traders and investor community. Look, what does the NSE want? The NSE wants to increase trading hours in phases. The first phase is to introduce an evening session for index futures and options between 6 to 9 p.m. and then take it further up to all the way up to 11:30 p.m., almost midnight, for which it has approval in place. After that, the extension has to take place in cash market, where they want to increase the timing from 3:30 to 5 p.m. Now, as I said, there's in principle not to do that, and exchanges have had that for a really long time, and they wanted to increase trading hours for a really long time. Now, what are the pros and cons? The arguments in favor essentially are that we need to align ourselves with global markets. There are a lot of times when the markets are reacting to news in the evening. For example, the US inflation data, the Fed announcements, the US market opening. So many data points come in the evening and we only react early in the morning. That really is the biggest argument in favor of extending the trading hours. Now, the arguments against extending trading hours. It's impossible to align completely, right? I mean, then where do you stop? The Japanese market, for example, opens early in the morning, say at 5:30. Then do you start an early morning session as well? Some markets are open on Sundays, for example. Then where do you stop? The other element here is the cost angle, especially for the brokerages, the smaller brokerages. The bigger brokerages can manage, but the smaller brokerages, their cost will double because they'll have to do double shift. So that's another reason against it. The work-life balance for traders and investors, that gets distorted. And a lot of traders and investors who do a lot of homework before the markets open and after markets close. So where will all that time come from? So there are arguments for and against that, of course. How things stand here right now, there was a Reuters report that the SEBI is studying it, yet to give a formal approval. They want the system to be ready. The sense I got was that it may not happen up until at least March of 2024.
All right. Thank you very much, Anuj, for getting us pros and cons of that very big and interesting story. Let's move on. 34 companies listed on Dalal Street at a discount between 2020 and 2022. A CNBC-TV18 analysis shows that not all of them destroyed investor wealth. Some delivered substantial returns over time. Hormuz Fatakia joins us now. Hormuz, from a slow start to a steady run for some stocks.
Absolutely. It's some very interesting data coming in when we take a look at the IPOs during this 3-year period between 2020 and 2022. Now, in this analysis, we are not considering IPOs that have listed this year for two reasons. One is that most of these issues have listed and are trading at a substantial premium to their IPO price. And two is that the window to analyze shareholder returns is very short because some of the IPOs have listed as early as today. So let's take a look at the IPOs between 2020 and 2022. We had 120 main board IPOs that came out during this 3-year window, of which 86 of them listed at a premium, while 34 of them listed at a discount. And it is these 34 stocks that we'll be focusing on. Now, out of these 34 names, there are 8 of them that listed at a discount, but over a period of time, they have given returns of at least 100% and more. And 5 of them have given returns between 50 to 90%. Now, let's take a look at this 100% plus list, and you would see the likes of Angel One, Macrotech, Craftsman Automation, IRFC, all of them listed at a substantial discount to their issue price, but then look at the returns that they have given. And the other list includes Equitas Small Finance Bank, Kalyan Jewellers, Metro Brands, Ethos. All of them listed at a discount but have generated substantial returns over a period of time. Now, I'd like to single out Angel One here, and it listed 3 years ago. And incidentally, it was 25th of September when it closed its IPO as Angel Broking. And it listed at an 11% discount to its issue price, which was around 306 rupees. Since then, the stock is up 6 times and is now currently trading close to 2,000 rupees. So now these were the IPOs that have surprised investors in a good way. Now, on the flip side, there are also some that have given a rude jolt to the investors, and we analyzed that 9 such IPOs that listed at a substantial premium to their issue price are now trading below their IPO price. Now, let's take a look at that list, and you'd see the likes of Chemcon Specialty Chemicals, Nureka, Heranba Industries, Nazara Tech, which almost doubled on its listing day. Chemcon also doubled, but now all of them are trading below their IPO price. And then come the new age companies like Nika, PB Fintech, and all of these companies also traded at a strong premium to their issue price, but now are trading well below their IPO price. Now, these are the IPOs that we have analyzed over the last 3 years. Some surprises and some duds as well. But the moral of the story, don't get too swayed by the listing day pop. Always look for enduring value.
Always look for enduring value. Thanks for that very comprehensive and well-researched report, Hormuz. But let's move on now to some important news from the aviation sector. Bombay High Court allows the CASA Air to proceed against pilots who left without serving their notice period. The airline is seeking contractual damages from 5 pilots who quit the company without serving the mandatory 6-month notice period. The Delhi High Court has provided interim relief to the airline. The court clarified that the aviation regulator has the jurisdiction to act against pilots who are refusing to serve their notice period. The Securities Appellate Tribunal reserved its order on former Zee CEO Puneet Goenka's appeal against the SEBI order that barred him from holding key managerial positions. The tribunal observed that it is not satisfied with the amount of time taken by the market regulator for the investigation. SEBI said it will complete investigations by the 30th of November. Kerala High Court has squashed the FIR against Manappuram Finance MD and CEO VP Nandakumar in a money laundering matter. The court has asked the Enforcement Directorate to return all the original documents of the frozen assets within 3 weeks after receiving the court's judgment. Beleaguered edtech major Byju's has kick-started a massive reconstructing drive under its new CEO, Arjun Mohan. Sources say that the startup is likely to cut 3,500 jobs. This comes at a time when the startup is battling its lenders and has faced a markdown in its valuations as well. Aishwarya Anand joins us now. Aishwarya, more pink slips at Byju's. What are you picking up?
Byju's, which is currently in the midst of an ongoing tussle with its lenders over a $1 billion loan repayment, is now looking to get out of trouble and has begun the process of its biggest restructuring exercise under the leadership of New India CEO Arjun Mohan. CNBC-TV18 has also learned that the edtech giant Byju's is likely to file its earnings for FY22 and FY23 by this weekend or next week. According to sources, the company will cut 3,500 jobs in a fresh round of layoffs. The job cuts will impact staffers at manager, mid-manager and vertical leader levels. In a statement to CNBC-TV18, a Byju's spokesperson said, and I quote, "We're in the final stages of a business restructuring exercise to simplify operating structures, reduce the cost base and better cash flow management." Byju's New India CEO Arjun Mohan will be completing this process in the next few weeks and will steer a revamped and sustainable operation ahead, end quote. Sources also say that the company felt there were a lot of redundancies in the system and is looking to consolidate and tighten teams in online as well offline functions. The move, however, will only affect Byju's India team and there will be no impact on Akash, Epic, Great Learning and other subsidiaries of Byju's as they operate as separate entities. Since late 2022, the edtech giant has let go of more than 2,500 employees. The most recent job cuts came in June this year when it laid off 500 to 1,000 employees. The company's headcount has come down from 50,000 in December 2022 to 37,000 at present. Back to you.
Thanks, Aishwarya Anand, for joining us with that very important story on Byju's. Moving on, the funding winter is still not over for Indian startups. Funding for the July to September period came at a 5-year low. According to data compiled by Traxon, startups raised $1.5 billion this quarter. This is 54% lesser than the same quarter last year. Late-stage funding rounds has witnessed a 33% drop early stage, and seed-stage funding plummeted around 75%. Moving on to diplomatic tensions between India and Canada, they continue to rise. Speaking at the UN General Assembly, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar said that political convenience should not determine the response to terrorism. Canadian diplomat Robert Ray said that international rules cannot be bent for political expediency.
In our deliberations, we often advocate the promotion of a rules-based order. From time to time, respect for the UN Charter is also invoked. But for all the talk, it is still a few nations who shape the agenda and seek to define the norms. This cannot go on indefinitely, nor will it go unchallenged, nor must we countenance that political convenience determines responses to terrorism, extremism, and violence. Similarly, respect for territorial integrity, and non-interference in internal affairs cannot be exercises in cherry picking.
We also have to uphold the values of free and democratic societies. We cannot bend the rules of state-to-state relations for political expediency, because we've seen and continue to see the extent to which democracies are under threat through various means of foreign interference.
During an interaction at Council on Foreign Relations, Jaishankar said that the government has told Canada that it was not India's policy to engage in acts like killing Hardeep Singh Nijjar. Let's listen in.
One, we told the Canadians that this is not the government of India's policy. Two, we told the Canadians saying that, look, if you have something specific, if you have something relevant, let us know. We are open to looking at. In the last few years, Canada actually has seen a lot of organized crime, relating to, the secessionist forces.
The big newsmaker this evening, with only a few days to go for his tenure to end, the chairman of TRAI has decided to speak out. PD Vaghela sat down with Ashmit Kumar for what was his first and last interview as India's telecom regulator. Vaghela said he was worried about the loss of Vodafone-Idea's subscriber base and its inability to roll out 5G services. Latest subscription data from the regulator showed that Vodafone lost over 13 lakh subscribers in July. Jio and Airtel gained over 39 lakh and 15 lakh subscribers respectively.
So there are some issues still. For example, Vodafone, for example, it has not been able to implement 5G. And for example, BSNL again has now started implementing 4G with the indigenous technology. That is great thing. But they will be now, I think, implementing 5G also. So that concern remains that BSNL and Vodafone, they have not implemented 5G. In what way the competition will span out, and how will how will the subscribers behavior will change the subscriber base among the various stakeholders. Especially, we are worried that BSNL and Vodafone both are losing their subscriber base.
It's been 20 years since the first Vibrant Gujarat Summit was held under the Chief Minister Narendra Modi. Today, the Gujarat government marked the milestone with Narendra Modi in attendance as Prime Minister. Yash Jain reports.
In 2003, crisis hit Gujarat was taking the first few steps towards getting back on its feet. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who was then the Chief Minister of Gujarat, thought that this could be best done by telling global investors what Gujarat could do. This was told through Vibrant Gujarat.
दुनिया के लिए ये सफल समिट एक ब्रांड हो सकती है, लेकिन मेरे लिए ये एक मजबूत बॉन्ड का प्रतीक है. आज 40,000 से ज्यादा पार्टिसिपेंट्स और डेलीगेट्स इस समिट में हिस्सा लेने के लिए आना शुरू हुए.
Many large corporates like L.N. Mittal of the ArcelorMittal Group, B.K. Goenka of the Welspun Group, Kulin Lalbhai from Arvind, as well as Pankaj Patel from Kadila Healthcare looked back at their growth journey with the state of Gujarat.
As a participant, from the first event to the last event, I have seen how this event has increased the investment in Gujarat, leading to unparalleled growth and improvement in the socio-economic standard of our state.
20,000 से अधिक लोग प्रोजेक्ट कंस्ट्रक्शन में प्रतिबद्धता से जुड़े हुए हैं और हमें पूरा विश्वास है कि केंद्र और गुजरात सरकार के सहयोग से हम इस प्लांट को 2026 में कमीशन करने में सफल होंगे.
Vibrant Gujarat was in a Tagore Hall, I still remember, and that was the first time people were again criticizing that Vibrant में कौन आएगा भैया क्यों आएगा. So that was a hall of maybe 600 or 800 seat, Tagore Hall. So it was full pack,
The first event was at least 20 times bigger than Resurgent Gujarat. But that was only the first event. After that, it went on increasing.
The focus from the government side would be on bringing new investments in emerging sectors like green hydrogen, renewable energy, as well as semiconductor. But on the other hand, the focus would also be on translating these MOUs signed into on-ground investments. For CNBC-TV18, this is Yash Jain.
All right. Thank you very much for getting us that comprehensive report on vibrant Gujarat, Yash. Coming up on India Business Hour, the next decade will be a decade of data, cloud and AI, says NetApp CEO George Kurian, admits that some fears about AI are warranted while others are exaggerated. That exclusive coming up. And you can also catch all CNBC TV18's news and updates on WhatsApp, Facebook, X, Threads, Instagram and JioCinema. You're watching India Business Hour. Fresh protests erupted in Manipur after pictures showing dead bodies of 2 students who went missing in July went viral. The state has been grappling with ethnic clashes for the last 5 months. A protest march led by school students in Imphal turned violent after a few started pelting stones. The police allegedly fired several rounds of tear gas in retaliation. The Manipur government has extended the stringent Armed Forces Special Powers Act for 6 months starting October. This includes mostly the hilly areas of the state. 19 police station jurisdictions in the valley, including Imphal, have been kept out of the AFSPA purview. Mobile internet services have been suspended in the state for 5 days.
लेकिन 1-1.5 महीने से अभी दोनों साइड से फायरिंग वगैरह बंद है और पीस रेस्टोर हो रहा है, अभी शांति आ रहा है। इसी बीच में दुख की बात है कि जो मेरा अपने एक मैथई लड़की और एक लड़का, जो एक तो 17 साल का है लिंथोइंगम्बे और एक तो है हेमंतजीत, तो दोनों को मिसिंग हुआ था जुलाई से तारीख में। तो उसी से हम लोग को उसको ट्रेस करने के लिए कोशिश काफ़ी किया। पब्लिक को, मणिपुर प्रजा को ये वाचन देता हूँ कि जो कल्प्रिट है, जो मर्डरर है, उसको हम सजा देंगे ही देंगे।
In international headlines, another legal setback for former US President Donald Trump. A New York judge ruled that Trump and his company committed fraud while building his real estate empire. The ruling said that the former president deceived banks, insurers and others by overvaluing their assets. Trump's lawyers said that they would be appealing against the ruling. The chairman of China's Evergrande Group, Hui Ka-yan, has reportedly been put under police surveillance. An industry source has revealed that Yan had become inaccessible over the last few days. According to Bloomberg, Yan has been monitored for the last 1 month at a designated location. Remember, the world's most indebted developer, Evergrande, has been at the center of a liquidity crisis in China's property sector. The US Federal Trade Commission and 17 state attorney generals have sued Amazon. The FTC has alleged that the tech giant used anti-competitive strategies, inflated their prices and overcharged sellers. Amazon has responded saying that FTC has radically departed from its mission of protecting consumers and customers. The next decade will be a decade of data, cloud and AI. That's the word coming in from NetApp CEO George Kurian. In an exclusive conversation with our managing editor Shireen Bhan, he admitted that some fears about AI are warranted while others are exaggerated. He added that the company is looking to double its India business, saying India has the potential to become NetApp's largest market in Asia in the next 5 years.
We predicted right very early on about cloud, and I think that has been really successful for us. We still are the only enterprise storage company in the world that has our technology natively integrated into all the leading public clouds. We see the next decade as a decade of data, cloud, and AI, and we want to position NetApp to be at the center of that, and we've done a good job so far. My own view is actually that AI will be a tool like all the other tools to make mankind smarter, better, more productive. And I
so
think
are the fears exaggerated, you think? Or some of the fears warranted and some exaggerated?
I think you're right about the latter. Some are warranted, some are exaggerated. I think the thing that we work on is to make it as much as possible a level playing field. You know, you don't want one part of the world to have AI tools and another not to.
Moving on to sports news, Indian shooter Siftkar Samra smashed the world record in the 50-meter rifle 3 positions individual event to win a gold medal at the Asian Games. Indian shooters also won gold in the 25-meter pistol team event. With this, India has 5 gold medals so far. The News 18 network, along with the Federal Bank, Hormus Memorial Foundation and with Tata Trust as a knowledge partner, has launched a brand new campaign called Sanjeevani, United Against Cancer. The aim of this campaign is to raise awareness and encourage conversation around the rising incidences of cancer in the country and the support systems in place to help cancer patients and their families deal with physical and mental toll this disease can take. The initiative kicked off at New Delhi earlier this evening in the presence of Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia. Federal Bank MD and CEO Shyam Srinivasan said the initiative also aims to help cancer screening become an integral part of annual health checkups for early detection and treatment as well.
Big development that we want to make in this is, apart from this whole journey of trying to promote awareness and support people, start investing in the adjacencies and help people in a way genuinely the caregiver is not affected massively, at least financially and physically, if they can support.
With that, it's a wrap on this edition of India Business Hour. Thank you for watching. News continues right here on CNBC-TV18.